Welcome friends, welcome to HTML session 1. This could be a series of sessions. We'll be learning how to use HTML and do some examples. Well, HTML is Hypertext Markup language, and HTML was invented by Tim Berners-Lee. He's a computer scientist. He also known as the inventor of World Wide Web. First, it was invented in 1989, and later on, the first web browser was written in 1990. HTML Hypertext Markup language is a set of markup symbols or code inserted in a file intended for displaying on a World Wide Web browser page. In general, we browse on internet and we open a website. All the pages that visible to a client side in the user level, that code is in HTML format. You can see the code, the source code of client browser. It will be in the HTML format. I will show you the example later. The markup tells the web browser how to display the words and images. And if you open a web page, you will have more words, images, flash, movies, and the many fonts. These are all configured in HTML page. And also using HTML, you can create web pages and web applications. Whereas web pages are the static pages where we simply display images, words, content, or any static which is not a programming. Whereas web applications, we use this in .NET, ASP.NET, Java, PHP, and other applications. Each page contains connections to other pages called hyperlinks. In general, when you open a web page, we have different links and different inner pages. We click on the pages and go to different links. And HTML5, whereas HTML5 is the fifth and current version of HTML standards, and there are different versions, but the current version is HTML5. And HTML5 is a set of new technologies being implemented in most of the browsers. And if you observe these browsers, we have different types of browsers like Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Google Chrome, and others. In general, in the previous versions, there are few HTML tags where it doesn't support all browsers. And in this latest HTML5, we have a set of new technologies which was implemented in the most of the browsers. And it includes video playbacks, drawing surface, drag and drop options, geolocations, CSS transformation, animations, web fonts, and faster JavaScript and more. And how does this HTML works? The text is saved as HTML file. An extension will be the HTML file and viewed through a browser like Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Google Chrome, etc. This browser reads the file and translate text into visible form. And these browsers read the HTML file and translate into the visible form for the users. We will see these examples in next sessions and even a small example in this session. Additional to HTML, we should know about CSS. CSS is cascading style sheets. CSS is a language of describing the presentation of a web page, including color, layout, and fonts. And this CSS is used in HTML files, where we can include the color, font of the text, color of the text or background, the layout, the table format, size of a table, and many more. Presenting of different types of devices such as large screen, small screen, and printers. Whereas with the help of this CSS, based on the device or the screen, we can set the size of a web page and the visibility. Whereas CSS is independent of HTML, can be used with any XML markup language. And this is XML markup language will be the additional concept. It will be very helpful for displaying the HTML page. Currently in these sessions, in HTML sessions, we will be covering only CSS with HTML. And the file extension will be .css. In general, we save this cascading style sheet code in a different file with the extension of .css, so that it can be used for multi-purpose. It can be used in multiple pages. For example, you can define a layout or color of a page or a table, and it can be used in different pages. And we need to know one more concept, that is JavaScript. JavaScript is an interpreted programming or script language, commonly used as a client-side scripting language. And JavaScript code is written in an HTML page, or it can have a separate file with .js file extension. Even this JavaScript is very helpful for us for HTML files. The programming languages like ASP.NET and Java related web programming pages, this reside in server side, whereas for any client side activities, for any small programming part, we use JavaScript. And the usage of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, this can combine three in one file. As you can write HTML, CSS, JavaScript in same file. But if it is a small page or small website, it will be very useful. If not, it is suggested to create individual files. Whereas CSS and JavaScript should be individual, and you can make use of these two, CSS and JavaScript, in HTML files. We will see these examples in future sessions. HTML file structure, and this is the basic HTML file structure. You can see here the first document type is HTML, and we are defining the web page. This page is HTML type. Then the second one is HTML tag. This is the root tag of HTML file. This is the beginning and the ending nodes. Each node in HTML is in the same format with its beginning and ending node. There are very few optional, but most of the tags will have beginning and ending node, is informing the document that is the starting and ends the ending. The ending tag additionally have the front slash, and we compare to the starting node tag. Whereas in HTML tags, the two important tags are head and body. The two blocks, head block and body block. Whereas the head block contains the metadata information about this page. In head block, you can write CSS, style sheets, JavaScript functions, and the title of the page, and even link to additional files, CSS files and JavaScript files. The path can be defined here in head tags. Whereas the body tags is a body block. This is the place where the content is visible in the web page. Even this head tag and body tags have their own end tags, starting and end tags. Whereas document type tag, it defines this document is to be HTML file. Here we are not defining any HTML version. By default, it will consider the latest version. If required, you can write HTML4, HTML3 here in this location. And HTML element is the root element of HTML page. We already discussed. The head element, this contains metadata information about the document. Body element contains visible page content. We'll see an example. Let's execute an example. And this is the HTML page I already written here. And let's open this in a notepad. And if you see this is the first document type defining here, and this is the HTML tags, and let's increase the font. This is visible to you. Okay, and this is the tag where is HTML file we are defining. It's an HTML file, and these are the root nodes, HTML starting and ending tags, and the HTML head and the body tags. Remember, the content in head tag is only for metadata information. For anything you want to display in the page, that should be in the body tag. Let's compare these two blocks. Here we have some additional symbols, less than, exclamation and minus minus, ending with minus minus and greater than, whereas these are used for commenting the text, which means this code is not visible in head tags. For example, let's remove these two tags, comment tags, and save this and open in a browser. Open a browser, go to File, Open, and opening the same file. If you see here, there are two messages displayed. This is head block, this is a body block. And it is not recommended to write any visible content in the head block. So we go back to page, HTML page, and we apply the comments. Let's save this go back to HTML page. No, it's not required to open again, just go and refresh. And the page has been refreshed. You can see this is the body block. And this is the basic example for HTML. And in further sessions, we'll have more about in detail. Hope you understand this example, and let's meet in next sessions. And thank you for watching.